Hey guys, Yankee here, and today I want to be giving my thoughts on Season 1, Episode 5 of Smallville. Now, this episode is titled Cool, and we got three different plots going on here. We got our villain of the week, we got Clark and Lana stuff, and then we got Lex and Martha and Jonathan Kent. So, villain plot of this episode. A kid named Sean Kelvin falls into a lake at like a party, and it's like wintertime, so it's iced over. He walks on the ice, falls in. Apparently nobody thinks to look for him, and he just sits there all night and then wakes up the next morning, all blue, like completely freezing. There's a little bit of a fire left. He goes over there to warm up, and he sort of absorbs the heat. We got like a really neat sort of thing where he absorbs the fire, and what's left is like a little ice flame thing. It looks cool. Alright, so this is probably the first character here who got powers that are just awful. Like, he falls into a lake, drowns, comes back, and he doesn't have ice powers. He has heat absorption powers. So, like, he can freeze water by sucking the heat out of it, but he can't, like, shoot ice. And the downside is he is always cold. So he's always looking for, something or eventually someone to absorb the heat of to get his own body temperature back up. Yeah, and I think this is... I guess the pilot was like this too, but, like, the last few episodes have been just sort of terrible people getting powers, doing terrible things. This was just a kid who might not have treated girls the best, getting a horrible, horrible ability and just sort of being pushed off the deep end really quick. Like, it starts with him absorbing fire, and then he absorbs a little bit of heat from the school nurse because he goes to her and he feels sick. He figures out that he can absorb heat from people. He meets up with a girl he had hooked up with before, goes to her house, absorbs her heat, kills her. And that's his power, and it's terrible. So we also have him sort of trying to hook up with Chloe at the party where, before he fell into the meteor rock, the lake with the meteor rocks at the bottom. He got Chloe's number, said he was going to call her. And then it seems like he was just trying to hook up with her. And then after he gets his abilities, he's trying to meet up with her to then absorb her heat. So we've got that going on. We've got Clark and Lana. Lex basically gives him concert tickets and offers him a ride in his limo if he asks Lana out. And Lex is very meddling in this. I feel like this has happened before, I can't remember the exact moment, but it feels like Lex really likes sticking his nose into this. So Clark asks Lana out just as friends to a concert, but that sort of gets interrupted by a news story that they hear in the limo where Sean is being looked for. The police are looking for Sean because that girl is dead. And so he says, Lana, I gotta go. He doesn't explain. If he had just explained, I think everything would have been fine, but for some reason he just doesn't tell her, hey, Chloe's going on a date with Sean. I should probably go see if she's okay. He just says, stay here, goodbye, and leaves, which is dumb. Alright, that's the second plot. Third plot is the Kents are having trouble with the farm. They need to take out a loan. And Lex stops by and basically has some sort of proposal for them. They never go into details. But if they did, I missed it. But from the way they're talking, he's being very generous, and he basically says, Clark saved my life. He gave me another chance at life. Let me try and help you. And he's been trying to repay them since episode 1. He tried to give Clark the car. That didn't work. And so Lex is really, at least right now, it seems like, even in this episode, he really is just genuinely trying to help, and they just keep shutting him down. And eventually, at the end of the episode, Jonathan decides to just take out a loan instead of getting help from Lex. So we got that. Alright, let's go back to Sean. So, he's trying to kill Chloe. Clark runs in to try and stop him. Slaps him away, frees Chloe, she leaves. Whitney picks up Lana, who Clark left basically abandoned, and then he's taking her home. And on the way home, they run into Sean, and Whitney almost hits him with his car, and then he crashes his car again. That's what, 2 episodes now? I guess the first time was the bug kid wrecking his car, but still, his trucks get destroyed a lot. So, they happen to end up just outside of Lex's mansion, and Lana hurt her ankle or something. So Whitney carries her to the mansion. Sean ends up at the mansion, and then Clark ends up there. It's very contrived how we all just ended up here. Like, it only would have been worse if somehow Chloe fled the school and then ended up there as well. So yeah, just sort of a messy way to bring them all together for some reason. I don't know why Lana and Whitney need to be there at all. He could have just brought her home, and then Sean could have ended up at the Luther Mansion anyway. But anyway, Clark shows up, tries to stop Sean, gets his heat sucked out multiple times, including once being left basically dead on the ground until he warms up again. The way Sean is defeated is the part that bugs me the most about this episode. Because the episode starts, he falls in water, drowns, and then comes back the next morning with ice powers. The way Clark defeats him makes no sense. He grabs him and just throws him into some water nearby, and the whole thing freezes over, and he's dead, apparently. What? That doesn't make any sense. If being in contact with water caused him to freeze all of it, why didn't that happen at the beginning? I don't understand. So the way this episode concluded was, or the villain's conclusion, doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Maybe I'm stupid, but I didn't think that bit was very good. On the whole, this episode was okay. Like, pretty standard. We got the Lana Clark stuff. We've got Lex trying to help, but being shot down because of his family, and then we got a villain that'll never show up again. It was an okay episode. Not the worst. Definitely not the best. But alright. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I'll see you guys next time.